Welcome back to the podcast today. And I want to make sure that people understand that change is an essential part of life. And I came across a reading from Friedrich Nietzsche that talked about the eternal return. Or he meant that if you remove your religious beliefs just for a moment while you listen to me, or your perceptions of whether there is life after death or not, he said that if you were to live your life and your life was like a piece of string, starts here and ends here, what would happen at the end of life? And we all have our religious beliefs of what would happen. But what he said is, what if life was simply a loop? So you'd be born, you'd live, and then you'd die, and then you return to the same life again. Every success, every mistake, every conversation, every decision, and every outcome. Would you be happy? So the question has two possible answers, yes and no. Two questions. The first question is, would you be happy to return to this very life that you're leading again and again and again? If the answer is yes, then you have pretty much discovered paradise on earth. But if your answer is no, there is something wrong with my life. I haven't achieved what I want to achieve. I have something missing. Then you have the opportunity to change what happens between now and the end, to create a better version of what will happen if you have to come back over and over again. If you choose to leave everything as it is and nothing changes, you will be stuck in this forever loop of being unsatisfied with your life. But if you choose to change, you choose to improve, these people on the coaching program, they understand that understanding self-discovery and then knowing what needs to go and what needs to remain and what needs to improve, this creates a better version of yourself. And in this loop, you create better versions of yourself every time you loop over. Now, life is not like that. Most people believe that there's reincarnation, nothing happens at the end, or there's life after death, depending on your spiritual ideology. But however, if you just made those changes in this analogy, with this thinking, you would be in a much better place. The reality is, when I do this in the coaching sessions with people and I ask them, would you be happy to come back and live your life again? It is one of the most painful questions I get to ask in the coaching, the most uncomfortable conversations that we have, the one that produces the most tears, the most rage, the most anger towards the coach and towards themselves, because there is something that needs to happen. But in order for that something that needs to happen, there needs to be a bereavement of what you're going to leave behind. It might be a part of your life, it might be a style, it might be a laugh, it might be a certain way of walking, talking, dressing, whatever it could be, a way of thinking, certain people in your life. But if you don't, you end up in this loop. And this is the most painful thing. So when we ask the question, are you happy with your life? So much so that if you had to live your life over and over and over again for eternity, for every success and every mistake and every conversation and every decision and every outcome, would you be happy with the life you're creating today? Rarely do we get the answer, yes. And out of those yes answers, many of the people who are giving me yes answers are not very self-aware. But those who answer no are in the best place. There may be tears, there may be anger, there may be rage, there may be silence, avoidance, whatever you call it. But once they get past that, then they ask themselves, suddenly it becomes overwhelming and I need to change too much. And then as a coach, I would say, what is the one change you could make right now that would make your life worth living again? One thing. There are many things that you might do, but just focus on that one thing first, and it will always rise to the surface. And everybody knows what it is because we bury it deepest in our beneath all of our other trivial stuff that we do. So in the future, when you come and if you do coaching with me or other people, try to think about this life that you live. And if you were to live it over and over and over again, would you be happy with the life that you're currently living? And if not, name the one change that you'd make. Thanks for watching. I hope you can stick around for the rest of the podcast. There's loads of other episodes on here. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if there is one
Welcome to the show.